Hey everyone. Get that volume right. I don't know. Today is Tuesday, so it's Gentle Restorative Day, and I was just mentioning I'm feeling a little sensitive. Um, Obviously, being in Nashville and that school shooting that happened yesterday. Um, we were actually, I think, in class, maybe right when all that was either happening or just happened. So usually when I teach, my phone's on airplane mode, so I don't, give or receive messages during that time. I taught two classes back to back, and then when I turned my phone on, it was just blowing up. And I got a phone call from Rob, and it's very sweet. He was just like, I just need to hear a voice of someone I love, because it's just so close to home. And it reminded me of 1994. In 1994, I was able to go and do a study abroad, and the university I chose was the University of Kingston upon Thames, which is on the Thames River just outside of London, England. And so I was able to go to school over there, and some of the classes that I was taking was women's studies. I was taking a sociology course because sociology was my major, women's studies and religious studies were my minor. And then there was a course that all of us Americans, had to take, and it involved British culture. And in that particular class, I really didn't speak up a lot. I just kind of came in, took my notes, and left. And there was one point in our discussion where everybody in the room was just bashing on America and how dangerous it is and all the gun violence there was. And I raised my hand and I was like, I don't normally speak up in this class, but I'm American. You guys probably don't realize that. And I have to defend my country, because what you guys hear on the news is really just in pockets or in certain places. And you have to remember that Great Britain is the size of one of our 50 states, and we have 50. So it's kind of like putting all of Europe together. And so if you're hearing the news, of course, it may look bad, but it's not representative of the whole. And so after I said that, the professor spoke up and he was like, I am so glad that you said this, because I actually lived in the United States for a while as a professor. And he shared that I was right. And so he was telling the students, he was like, yes, it's there. And yes, we hear it on the news, but it's not a dangerous place to be. And I can't say that anymore, you guys. Like, now it's 30 years later, we're in 2023, and it's shooting after shooting after shooting after mass shooting, and it's just horrific. It's horrific thinking that these children thought they were in a safe place, that the parents thought they were in a safe place. It's just horrible, and it's hard to wrap our minds around it. So yesterday, I actually did take the time to turn on the local news because I wanted to hear from a local news report, from a local news reporter. And I was very pleased with what Rob and I found, because it wasn't just someone regurgitating the news. It was a woman who was feeling the emotions, who was fighting back tears, who felt the impact of that place where she was standing and reporting. And as a parent, it doesn't even matter if you're a parent or not, but as a parent, it's heartbreaking. And then this morning, I discovered that the shooter actually graduated from NSA, which is where my son goes to high school. I don't know exactly the motive, other than what's been told, that she resented the school that she went to at a young age. And we don't know the whole story. And you got to remember, hurt people hurt people. And when I shared the news with my family in North Carolina, one of my sisters responded, well, there's a good place in hell for someone like that. And And I was like, no, 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 no. Like, I don't want the conversation to go there. We really need to bring up compassion, compassion for the shooter, compassion for the pain that led her to make this decision, the compassion for all the faculty there that just thought they were showing up to do their job, compassion for all the children who maybe witnessed it or heard it or completely frightened and traumatized by it. We need to have compassion for the parents and the reporters and the police officers and them putting their lives at risk. And anyway, just to remember, compassion is an aspect of love. And as yogis, that's what we're hoping to tap into, to experience and to feel. So it's okay to emote, it's okay to cry, it's okay to feel the feels, because it all stems from a place of love. Compassion is when we're stepping into that person's skin, stepping into that person's life, stepping into those person's shoes, and allowing ourselves to experience that for them and to feel along with them. And so, sorry, I'm crying. We'll try to transmute some of this. So, yesterday, we ended our class with a meditation, and we're going to open our class with this meditation. Now, I don't know if I explained it very well yesterday, but the Sikh tradition in India is like a more prominent casting system. I don't think they normally go by the casting system in modern day time, but you know what I mean. The Sikh system is like the people who can become Brahmins, the people who can become priests. It's the highly educated populace of India, and they're the spiritual knowledge holders. And in their tradition, they do the sat, kar, tar, and they do this meditation for when things are good or bad. And it means, can we allow God to take care of the situation? Now, I know that may just imply, oh, our thoughts and prayers are with these people, but it's not. It's putting it really into action. And prayer is important and prayer is powerful. So this mantra is like a prayer. And I want you to feel as though when we bring the hands to the heart, the heart is the indwelling place, the wellspring of love and compassion. We'll have the compassion here. We'll send it out from the heart and out into the community and into the world. So we'll do sat, kar, tar, okay? So let's go ahead and begin sitting upright. Have the hands to prayer, and I promise we'll breathe in center after this. Sat, kar, tar. Sat, kar, tar. Sat, kar, tar. Feel free to close your eyes. Sat, kar, tar. 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 3 more. Sat, kar, tar. Sat, kar, tar. Sat, kar, tar. And then let your hands rest on your lap. Breathing slowly, smoothly, in and out through the nose. When we're working with the arms today, I want you to think of the arms, as we always do, as an extension of the heart or wings of the heart. And think about one representing love and the other representing compassion. And then we're going to start on our bellies. with a stretch for the arms. So go ahead and come down to your abdomen. Separate your feet. And go ahead and take your right arm in front of your left, kind of like we're going to go to crocodile, except we're going to spread the arms, sliding them through, and then rest the chin on the arms. And make sure that you're not holding or gripping in your low back or buttocks. Close your eyes. Give yourself the medicinal treatment of diaphragmatic breathing, which can calm our nervous system, and which can also anchor us into our hearts. Feel your belly swelling as you inhale and softening on the exhale. And then on your next in-breath, lift your head up, slide your arms back together, and then we'll swap that positioning. So the left arm's in front, we'll slide the hands through, rest the chin, loosen up your legs, low back and buttocks. And then just take residence here and form that relationship with your breath. Notice which crossing of the arm may be a little bit uncomfortable, where you may feel tighter, tender. And we'll just take a few more. And then let's go ahead and lift the head up. And when you walk your arms closer together, you're actually going to slide your left arm to the side, palm facing down. Come down to the left side of your face. Let your right hand rest in front of your chest. And then you're going to push away from the right hand to roll to your left side and bend and stack your knees. So we're coming into this pose called broken wing. I think a lot of us are feeling like our system is broken because we're not seeing enough compassion in action. There needs to be something more than just thoughts and prayers. Right now, that may be all we can muster up for ourselves. So sometimes that's enough. Now, if you wanted to open the clam, you could elevate your right knee, but I wouldn't do that if it disturbs your hip or if it disturbs your low back. Remember, the compassion and action also comes to play when we're working in these poses and into our bodies. On the exhale, you can drop the top knee. We'll inhale, straighten out the legs. We'll exhale, roll to the belly and extend the right arm out. Slide your left hand in, flip to the other cheek, roll to your right side, bend and stack your knees. And then if you want to open up the clam and test the waters here, you may. But the true emphasis here is working into the lymphatic tissues of the chest, the fascia of the shoulder, and saturating the shoulder joints. But if you wanted to open up the hips, you could. Exhale, let's close the clam. Inhale, stretch the legs. Exhale, roll back to your belly. And then we're going to prop up to Sphinx pose with the elbows lining up underneath the shoulders, hands shoulder distance apart, legs lengthening back behind us, feet pushing into the floor so that your glutes squeeze, your thighs engage, and your kneecaps lift. Now push a little harder down with your elbows and see if you can lift up through the top portion of your chest. Bringing this prana to steep in the heart, building strength in the back, and finding a nice angle for your head and your neck. And if you want to continue that mantra repetition anytime we're holding a pose, you can continue with Sat, Kar, Tar. Sat, Kar, Tar. Sat, Kar, Tar. Now, I want you to rock your hips, loosen up the firmness of the buttocks. Slide your left knee up in line with your hip. So you're creating that half frog leg. Now, if this is upsetting to the low back, the glutes are no longer squeezing or firming. But if this aggravates your SI joints or your low back whatsoever, you're going to walk the elbows forward and bow into your prayer hands. This is the more gentle way. And I had a person earlier today needing to come lower. So if you wanted to lower to stacked hands and get out of the back bend altogether, of course you can, because that could be your compassion and action. Let's go ahead and stretch the left leg back behind us. And then we'll bring the right knee up, flipping to the inside of the foot. And again, each side's different. So if you had to go lower on your left side, you might be able to lift higher on the right, or vice versa. Or you may find it's perfect at the same spot you were at before. So experiment with that. And of course, you can go back to the mantra, Sat, Kar, Tar. Inhale, slide the right leg back. Exhale, hands under the shoulders, pour down towards the face, long enough to inhale, push up to table. Come to piano hands where you're cupping the hands, resting on the finger pads, and you're stretching back towards an extended child's pose. Now notice with this version of extended child's pose, it's creating traction under the arms, keeping the elbows lifted. Keep your ears in line with your upper arm bones, so that may mean your head is hovering. But this way, notice the openness of your chest, but also notice the openness and traction of the spine behind your heart. Think about when we experience shocking news or when we have any type of depression, we have that tendency to sink in with the chest around the upper back. And this is opening us up for the love and the light to come in. On your next in breath, let's flatten the palms, rock up to hands and knees. Exhale, take downward facing dog. And from your downward facing dog, push into your palms, lift and elevate up through your hips. Affirming here, calmness and compassion are running through every cell and fiber of my being. On your next in-breath, go ahead and travel the feet forward towards your hands. Ground your feet, structure and straighten your legs, and hinge down from your hips. Holding the standing forward fold. And on your next in-breath, press down through the soles of the feet, sweep the arms to your sides and up overhead to upward worship. May we gain the peace that passeth all understanding. And then exhale, bring hands home to the heart. All right, so from standing, we're going to do a little bit of that Kriya and mantra repetition again. This is Sat, Kar, Tar. 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 Three more. Sat, Kar, Tar. Sat, Kar, Tar. Sat, Kar, Tar. Last one. Sat, Kar, Tar. And bring your hands back home to your heart. Okay, so we're going to go into the Sun Sao in a similar fashion. So on the inhale, we're spreading our wings, taking the arms to the sides, pushing out through the heel of the hands. And as we exhale, we fold. As we inhale, we lift halfway up. And as we exhale, we lower back down. Now you may want blocks beside the feet because we're going to inhale, step the left foot back behind us. And once we find our footing, we're going to lift the arms up overhead. So we're forming a crescent lunge. Now, if your balance is really unsturdy today, you can always rest your back heel on the floor, say in a variation of Warrior One, okay? Otherwise, you can join me in crescent, rolling the left hip forward. On the out breath, we're hinging down, spreading the wings, one representing love, one representing compassion. Inhale, high crescent. Exhale, come down and hover. One more, inhaling up. Exhaling, hover and hold. One wing representing love and the other compassion. Bring your hands down to the blocks. Keep lunging the front knee. Set the back knee to the floor. Untuck the back toes. Push down through the right foot. Slide up through the pelvic floor. Reach the arms up overhead. Clasp a hold of your hands. Rest them below the base of the skull. Puff up through your chest and lean your head back into your hands. And breathe. Exhale, lower the hips as well as your hands to the floor or blocks. All right, we're going to come up again. So push through the right foot, draw back slightly through your thighs, lift your arms up towards the sky, and this time you're creating the mudra. Sometimes it's called temple mudra, sometimes Kali mudra, other times Jupiter mudra. Shoulder shrug to the ears, arms hugging the head, lift through your base ribs, drop through your hips. Inhale, puff up through your chest. Exhale, lean your head and your arms back a bit. Take 3 deep breaths. Exhale, let your hands come down. You can send the blocks away for a moment. Pull the right knee back to join tabletop, and we're going to round it to cat stretch. So drop the tailbone, scoop in through the belly, and bow your head. And you continue to push the floor away from you with your hands and your feet. Suctioning up through the midriff and still breathing in and out through the nose. On your next out breath, slip your hips back towards your heels. Let your elbows and head rest on your mat. Child's pose. Inhale, lift the face, stretch up through your arms, rock up hands and knees, and exhale to downward facing dog. On our next inhale, lift your heels up. Exhale, drop the knees to the floor. Shift forward, lower down, Ashtan Pranan. Inhale, slide through to the belly. Rest on your palms, elbows clip in. Maybe using your arm strength to lift to a higher cobra, only if your body allows. Holding the cobra. Exhale, lower towards your chest, long enough to roll up and back to downward facing dog. Now, from our downward facing dog, we're going to step the left foot forward. So if you need to drop to your knees and step the left foot through first, bring the blocks in here, then you can come into this lunge here. All right, once you find your footing, inhale, lift your arms. And this is where you can determine, how is my balance now on this side? Do I need to plant the back foot? Or can I keep the hips square and be here? And then exhale, we'll flow forward, spreading our wings, one of love, one of compassion. Inhaling up, exhaling down. One more, inhaling up, exhaling down. As if you were gliding in midair. Bring the hands down, the back knee to the floor, and untuck the back toes. Push through the left foot, draw up through the arms, clasp your hands, cup a hold of the back side of your head, lift your chest and lean back. And most importantly, breathe. Exhale, allow the hips to drop, the hands to come back down, and we're going to go up one more time. Inhale, coming up, hands lace. Start to create your back bend, maybe sinking in, allowing it to be a little bit more dynamic. Exhale, hands down. All right, this time curl the back toes under. We're going to step that back foot forward, and we're going to lower back down, Uttanasana. Inhale, slide your hands up, lengthen out through your crown. Exhale, fold back in. Inhale, take your arms to your sides, pushing through the heel of the hands, like the way we started this sunset. And then exhale to the salutation seal, hands to heart. All right. Take your left hand over your heart, your right hand on top of that. Close your eyes. A few deep breaths. And let your heart ooze with compassion. And then shift your weight to your left foot. Catch your right knee. And we're preparing for Padangusthasana B. So when you're ready, turn the hip open. Gaze at one spot. And this is preparing us for tree. So the foot can drop to the floor, to the calf, or you can use your hand to bring it to the inner thigh, and eventually reaching your arms up towards the sky. Releasing the arms, and then the foot. All right, we'll try our hand on the other side. So now shift your weight to the right leg. Catch your left knee. Prepare for Padangusthasana B. We'll turn the left leg open. And this will prepare us for tree. Foot down to the calf or inner thigh. And arms reaching up towards the sky. Exhale, release your arms and that foot. All right, we're going to do something a little bit different here. Hands coming back to prayer. We're going to take the arms to the sides. And as we exhale, we're going to come down, knees super bent, folding over the legs, hands flipped upside down, and your head bowing beyond your knees. A standing form of child's. And then press through the feet, squeeze into the belly. Let your arms stay relaxed like a rag doll. Charge into your feet, slowly straighten your legs. Keep squeezing your core. Slowly roll it up one vertebra at a time. And let your shoulders roll back. There's something about that rolling up action when it's done correctly, it can automatically build you into Tadasana. All right, so thinking of the 6 victims yesterday, we're going to do something for them and their families here through physical expression. All right, so bring your hands to prayer. Sat, Kar, Tar. Open up your heart. Exhale, bend the knees and wrap your right arm over your left. Just like you're giving yourself or the family members a big bear hug. And then slowly straighten your legs, hands to prayer. Sat, Kar, Tar, open the heart. Same approach, right arm over the left. Bending your knees, kind of like Garudasana, but with more meaning today. That's for the second victim. Okay, stand, hands to heart, Sat, Kar, Tar, expand it out. Exhale, right arm over the left. Hug and squeeze. Third victim. All right, inhale, straighten up, hands to prayer. All right, Sat, Kar, Tar, open up. Left arm over the right this time. Bent knees, arms wrapped, tight hold. All right, coming back to stand. Sat, Kar, Tar, open up. Exhale, left arm over the right. This is for the 5th victim and family. Coming up, this is for the 6th. Sat, Kar, Tar, expand. Left arm over the right. Hug. And inhale up, hands to heart. Sat, Kar, Tar. And then we're going to fold back again into the standing form child's. So we have to remember a lot of people's pain and suffering stems from childhood. One reason why this practice is so therapeutic, even for us as adults, we can work through our stuff. We can find the root cause of our suffering, which is the whole point of yoga. It's only when we go to the root cause that we can be truly healed. All right, walk your hands forward, elevate your heels, but stay on your toes. And I know this may not be great for your knees, but if you can handle toe balance, see if it's possible to erect the spine. And then just for a little challenge today, 3 of those mantras: Sat, Kar, Tar, Sat, Kar, Tar, Sat, Kar, Tar. And when you're ready, come on down. Feet together, knees open, and fold. And so, with this being so close to home, even if you have no relations with those involved, because it's so close to home, it can affect our hips and low back. This is where we sometimes feel the collective trauma that's occurred, even if it's on the other side of the world. And on your next inhale, let's gently come up. I want to move us into restorative now. So we've been putting some of that compassion into action. And now I want us to just rest and steep in compassion. So have your props, your blocks are going to go underneath your knees for supported butterfly. Your bolster is going to line up underneath your back so that when you roll upon it, you can make any other adjustments or just sink and surrender into it. So what I want you to become aware of is the fact that when we meditate, we're trying to put our focus on one thing. That could be the breath, it could be a mantra, it could be an object. But the point of it is not only to bear witness to it, but almost to become one with it. And this is exactly what compassion is about. Not just observing and witnessing it, but stepping into it and becoming that. So I'm going to let you choose what it is that you want to meditate on here. I mean, it could be the breath. It could be a certain sensation or emotion. It could be a particular person or situation. Determine what you want it to be. Put your concentration on it now. Take 7 more breaths. Flutter your knees up. Roll to one side. And we're going to transition to Stonehenge. I don't know, I just felt very vulnerable in that last position. Maybe because it is just so open there. So let's take Stonehenge and grab this blanket. And once you lift your legs up, sometimes in the studio, if you're not all the way on your back, you can look. I see people's knees way back here. But the point of this is to give support to that hinge of the knee there. So let your knees rest at the edge. And then your blanket could go underneath your head, or if you want to feel less vulnerable and more grounded, more safe and secure, just kind of wrap yourself up with the blanket. Close and rest your eyes. Find that comfortable, just right position with your arms. And you're welcome to meditate on the same thing that you did before in the previous pose, but you're also welcome to switch it up to something different. And it's okay if you want to meditate on the silence in between your thoughts, so that you're quietening yourself down. Begin to deepen the flow of our breath. Blanket is resting on top of your body. You may want to send it to the side because I want you to hug your knees in towards your upper body. Continue to cradle the knees. Hold for 3 more breaths. Roll away to one side of your body. Push down into that top hand to rise up. And our practice with a moment of silence. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We all walk away from this practice being free and at peace with anything out of our control, anything imposed upon us by another, or any internal conflict of our own. Om peace, peace, peace. Sat Har. Namaste.